Hello, this is Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you to Hardcore Course in Miracles. Welcome to Hardcore Course in Miracles here on Facebook Live. And we are talking about sickness and healing. We're talking about unhappiness and happiness. We're going to talk about a new way to look at sickness and how to allow healing to happen according to the Course in Miracles. And sickness is any kind of, not just physical illness, but anything that's going on in your life and in your perception that's keeping you from having peace and harmony and a feeling of prosperity and abundance and knowing that you are loved and knowing that you're connected to spirit. Do you want to know exactly how to get past any forms of sickness or unhappiness? We're going to talk about that from A Course in Miracles. So in order for us to do that, we need to allow ourselves to become centered. So I want to ask you to take a breath, and we're going to allow everyone to come in, and we're going to go very deep into the topic of sickness whenever that comes up in your experience, or if you experience it now, or any form of lack of peace. The Course in Miracles defines as sickness, any form of non-right-mindedness. Here we go. We're going to do a little music to get centered. This is what the Course in Miracles teaches that we're here on the planet to do. Teach only love, but that is what you are, only love. Yes, that is what you are, teach only love. That is what you are. And teach only love. Everywhere you go, teach only love. To everyone you know, teach only love. Love is what you are. Yeah, yeah. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Teach only love. Each and every day, teach only love. In your own special way, teach only love. Love is what you are. Welcome to Hardcore Course in Miracles. I'm Earl Raj Purdy. And do you know, after 43 years of studying and teaching A Course in Miracles, I'm appreciating it more than ever before. Listen. Teach only love. Well, that is what you are. Teach only love. Yeah, you're a shining star. Only love. Love is what you are. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Teach only love. Each and every day, teach only love. In each and every way, teach only love. Love is what you are. That's Brother John Christmas at www.johnchristmas.com. If you want to get that music, you can get it and download it for free. And it's based on teachings in A Course in Miracles. So take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. Oh, it feels so good to be with you, mighty companions. I love to study and apply the Course in Miracles. So much so that 37 years ago, I decided and was called to do the Course in Miracles full time. And that's what I've been doing in the world now for almost 40 years. Quit a corporate job to do it. Because when you are called, when you tap into your calling, the reason why you were born, the reason why you entered this experience, when you answer your calling, no matter what you're doing, you're going to answer that. And so I want you to remember only this. This is the guidelines from A Course in Miracles. This is the attitude that the Course in Miracles says you have to have if you really want to benefit from what the Course in Miracles is teaching, if you really want to hear this material. I'm going to be on lesson 136 in the Course in Miracles workbook, and it's on page 258, I'm going to start out with paragraph 8 on page 258 in the Course in Miracles workbook. Lesson 136, and what is lesson 136? Lesson 136 is sickness is a defense against the truth. You could also say sickness is a defense, a plan against the truth. So, and sickness is any form of non-right-mindedness, according to A Course in Miracles. So it's not just talking about physical illness, even though it is talking about physical illness. It's talking about lack or depression or anger or grievances or lack or jealousy or insecurity. Anything that's taking your peace away is a form of mental illness. Physical illness is a form of mental illness, because everything that happens on the physical plane is created from the mind. So if you want to hear this correctly, the Course in Miracles says you need to remember that you need not believe the ideas. Do you know you need not believe the ideas? Do you know you need not accept the ideas? Do you know you need not even welcome the ideas? Some of the ideas, you may actively resist some of these ideas. You may resist some of these ideas. You may have resistance to some of these ideas. Did I say you may have resistance to some of these ideas? Yes, you may actively resist some of these ideas. The Course in Miracles says some of these ideas you will find hard to believe. Some of the ideas from A Course in Miracles you will find hard to believe. Others may seem to be quite startling. So I am going to share some things from A Course in Miracles that may startle you. The Course in Miracles may startle you. You are not asked to judge. You are not asked to judge the ideas at all. You are not being asked to analyze the ideas. Do you know that as a 40-year teacher of A Course in Miracles, I followed the instructions as best I can from A Course in Miracles, and the Course in Miracles says analyzation is of the ego. Analyzation is of the wrong mind from A Course in Miracles perspective. The Course in Miracles teaches that the ego analyzes and the Holy Spirit accepts. That's the same as saying wrong-mindedness analyzes the material, right-mindedness accepts the material. So how will you know that what the Course in Miracles teaches is true? Well, the way that you will know if what the Course in Miracles teaches is true is by using the ideas. If you use what the Course in Miracles says, if you use what the Course in Miracles says, if you do what the Course in Miracles says, if you learn how to see things and interpret the things that are happening in your life the way that the Course in Miracles is telling you to interpret what's going on in your life, then doing that, using the ideas, will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. Remembering what it's saying and applying it, remembering what A Course in Miracles is saying and applying it, your experience will show you that the ideas are true. That's why I'm still using it, focusing in on it, devoted to the teachings after 4 decades. Believe me, I got more sense than to focus on something for 40 years that I haven't seen the benefits of. And I've also been blessed enough as a teacher of A Course in Miracles and through teaching all over the world and sharing with literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students of the Course in Miracles and having counseled and worked with and coached, letting the Holy Spirit do that through me, I've had an opportunity to see the results of somebody actually giving A Course in Miracles attention and study and applying the ideas. So it works. It works. But but it's important that you reached your limit in some area of your life right now. Have you reached your limit? Or even are you dealing with some type of a physical illness or an emotional illness or financial illness or some form of depression or fear or separation? Then the Course in Miracles calls that sickness. And it's a defense against the truth. So if you use the ideas, then you will see that the ideas are true. And so we're going to dive right in it. This is Hardcore Course in Miracles. I hope you have your book so that you can follow along and I can give you some tips on how to study A Course in Miracles, because one of the main complaints that I've heard people have about the Course in Miracles is that it's difficult to read and it's difficult to study. And that is not true if you are doing the Course in Miracles the way that the Course in Miracles say you should do the Course in Miracles, which is what I just shared. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to accept it or welcome it. You might have some resistance to it. Some of the stuff is going to be hard to believe. Some of the stuff is going to startle you. Do not analyze A Course in Miracles. Do not analyze A Course in Miracles. If you use the ideas, you'll see that the ideas are true. Do you know that the Course in Miracles, first and foremost, is working on your perception? It's a course in mind training. Okay, so the Course in Miracles is working primarily at the level of thought, at the level of perception. Did you know that everything that's happening in your life is happening in your perception of it? So you want to learn how to see things the way that the higher power is teaching you to see things. Because if you learn how to see things the way that the higher power is teaching you to see things, then it's going to give you peace of mind. If you do what the Course in Miracles says to do, it's going to give you peace of mind. So what happens when you have peace of mind? The Course in Miracles teaches that when you have peace of mind, you can hear the voice of the Holy Spirit, your inner guide, telling you exactly what to do in any and every situation in your life that you're dealing with right now. If you learn how to give yourself peace of mind, if you learn how to let go of anger, guilt, grievances, and separation, which is what the Course in Miracles teaches you to do, then you'll be able to hear the voice of God, the voice of the higher power, and it's talking to you right now, and it's telling you exactly what to do in order to have peace and healing in any area of your life. So it's part of a quick review because we're going to start at paragraph 8. Sickness is a defense against the truth. The Course teaches that we are spiritual beings and we're not our physical bodies. Did you know you are not your physical body. 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 You are not your gender. You are not a being that is a body that lives a certain number of years, and then after a certain number of years, you die. That is not what you are. You are love. You are a spiritual being. According to the Course, you are mind. You are spirit. Okay, now, when you have forgotten that you are mind, and you've forgotten that you're spirit, and so now you're on a spiritual path that's going to remind you of the unlimited spiritual being that you are. So the Course says that when you start to make real progress and you start to really recognize that you are more than your body, that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, the Course teaches that the part of you that believes that you are separate, do you know the part that believes you are a man or a woman or whoever you think you are, that part of you is called the ego. The ego is that part of us that believes that we're separate. The Course in Miracles calls the ego a fearful thought. It's the part of us that thinks we're separate from each other. When you begin to focus on your oneness, when you begin to go beyond the idea that you are just a separate body, that's very threatening to your ego. That's very threatening to your old way of looking at yourself. So the Course says what happens is, because that part of us feels threatened because we're beginning to accept the truth, that we make the decision to get sick or to have some type of problem or to have something happen to us that doesn't make us feel peaceful and loved. So what the Course says that we do is we make the decision to get sick or to cause some kind of unhappiness for ourselves so that we won't believe that what the Course is teaching us is true. The Course is teaching us that who we really are cannot be hurt, that who we really are is eternal, that who we really are is innocent and powerful and holy and sinless and joined with everything. So the part of us that doesn't believe that tries to convince us that believing in our unlimited self is a lie because you got a cold. How could you be the Holy Son of God? How could you be this invincible being and you got a stomach ache? Or how could you be this invincible being and you can't even pay your bills? Or how can you be this invincible, unlimited, powerful, loving being and you don't even have a relationship that you have any kind of peace in? So the Course in Miracles is basically teaching us that everything that we experience in the outer world that we use that causes us any kind of unhappiness is just a trick that we are playing on ourselves to make ourselves forget that we are divine mind, that we are divine beings. Did you hear what I just said? Don't analyze it, hear it. You are an unlimited being. There's a part of you that doesn't believe that and is threatened by that. So it's trying to convince you that you are this body that dies one day, that is very vulnerable to all kinds of attack and sickness and illness. So when a person is sick, when a person is ill, the Course says what that is a plan that that person has made to prove to themselves that they couldn't be this spiritual being that's beyond all pain. You see, if I'm feeling pain and I'm suffering, it's hard for me to believe that I could truly be an extension of God, that I could truly be this spectacular being that the Course in Miracles is teaching me that I am. So whatever is going on in your life that has you feeling unhappy right now, do you know it's a trick? It's a trick to make you think that you're alone. It's a trick to make you think that you're just a body that suffers. It's a trick to make you think that you can't have the kind of abundance and ease and happiness that you deserve to have. Sickness is a defense against the truth. So follow along with me, and we're going to start out with paragraph 8. And paragraph 8 starts out, and it's on page 258 in the workbook, And I'm so glad to be here with you. I call this Hardcore Course in Miracles because I am primarily directing this class toward Course in Miracles students who are actually giving the Course in Miracles book some attention and study. I'm assuming that you are a person who actually really wants to master what the Course in Miracles is teaching, and that you are someone who is actually reading it and studying it, or someone who really wants to read it and study it and get the benefits from it. So here we go. And I teach in a question and answer format. And also I use a lot, I repeat, I use a lot of repetition, because the Course in Miracles all through the book says, repeat this, say this as often as possible, repeat this, say this often as possible. Over and over and over and over in A Course in Miracles, it says, remember this, don't forget this, remember that, don't forget that, remember, don't forget, remember, don't forget. So it's about hearing it, first of all, without believing that you have to believe it. And it also says, read me slowly. So here we go. How do you think that sickness can succeed in shielding you from the truth? How do you think that problem that you think you have right now, that unhappiness that you have right now, can succeed in shielding you from the truth? Well, because when you are sick, the Course says, sickness proves that the body isn't separate from you. So sickness proves that you are connected to your physical body, because when your physical body is going through some type of discomfort, it makes you believe that you are just a physical body. So sickness makes you focus your attention on you as a physical body and not on you as a spiritual being that is not a body. You are a spiritual being, you are a spiritual being, you are a spiritual being, you are spirit, you are spirit, you are spirit, you are spirit. Your body is your communication device. Your body is your communication device. Your body is how you join with others. The body, by join with others, I mean you communicate through the body. So your body is the way that you join minds and join hearts, but you are not your body. Like I said last week, you have a car, but you are not your car. You have a house, but you are not your house. You have a body, but you are not your body. So since you're not separate from the body, the very next line says, you suffer pain. So why do you suffer pain? Because the body does. So in your pain, you are made one with the body. And I went, wow, that's deep. It's through my pain that I convince myself that I'm a body. It's through any form of lack or upset or grievances and unhappiness that I'm feeling that in my body. So it makes you think you are a body. So pain makes you believe you are your body and not your spiritual self. There's a lesson in the Course in Miracles where he teaches that you are not a body, you are free. Because you're still as God created you. You're still as the divine created you. You are not a body. You are free. You are free. Does that mean the body isn't free? That's right. The body isn't free. The body has limits. The body has limitation. The body is not free, but you are free. So when you're sick or unhappy, you're suffering pain. So you are suffering pain because it looks like your body is suffering pain. If you have a toothache, the toothache draws your attention to the body, and you think you are the body that's having the toothache. And so it says, in this pain are you made one with the body. Now check that out. In this pain, you are made one with the body. So pain keeps your true identity as a body preserved. So the more pain you go through, the more separate you're going to feel, the more you're going to feel like your body, and the less you're going to believe that you are a spiritual being that is beyond pain. So the haunting thought that you might be something beside this little pile of dust is silenced and stilled, because you see this dust, which is the Course in Miracles term for the body. One of the terms that the Course in Miracles calls the body is dust. And so the thought that you might be something beside the body, the thought that you might be something beside this dust, which is what the truth is teaching you, that thought that you might be something beyond your race, your sex, your gender, your programming, that thought is silenced and stilled, because you see this dust. What is it that this body can do? Well, when this body is going through pain, it can make you suffer. It can twist your limbs. It can stop your heart. It can command you to die and cease to be. So it looks like we are controlled by the body, that we are ruled by the body, and that when the body dies, we die, and whatever the body is feeling, we feel. Don't analyze this. Don't analyze this. Do not analyze this. Just let yourself hear it, because the Course says it's through letting yourself hear another way of looking at things. And this is a radically different way of looking at things. The first thing you have to do is just let yourself hear it. And so the next paragraph, what does it say? Thus is the body stronger than the truth. So why does it seem like the body is stronger than the truth that says you're not a body? Why does it look like the body is stronger than the truth, which says that you are spirit, and that you are eternal, and that you are mind, and that you are consciousness? Well, the truth is what the Course has given us, and the truth is asking you to live. The truth is asking you to start focusing in on your true self, your eternal self, your spiritual self, because your true self, your eternal self, your spiritual self cannot and never will die. But the truth cannot overcome your choice to die. So if you want, the Course says, basically, if you still want to believe you're a body that dies, then it'll look like one day you die, and that's the end of you. But that's not the truth about you. The strangest thing that you're going to ever experience and recognize is when you go through the transition called death, that you haven't died, but you just laid your body down. You've laid your body down, but you haven't died, because who you are can't die. But there's a part of you that believes you can die. And the part of you that believes you can die is trying to convince you that you can die by sometimes giving you all kinds of pain and suffering in the body, so that you will be convinced that that's all you are, is a body that's going to die one day. So it looks like the body is stronger than the truth, because the truth is asking you to live, but what does it say? Cannot overcome your choice to die. And so the body seems like it's more powerful than everlasting life. It seems like the idea that you are a body that can die, that's more powerful than being told you have everlasting life. And heaven, which the Course defines as love, which the Course defines as reality, and which Course defines as the truth. It looks like the truth, which says that you are spirit and that you are innocent and you are unlimited, is more frail than hell. And do you know the Course in Miracles defines hell as fear? The Course in Miracles says anybody that's in fear all the time, full of guilt, full of anger, full of a sense of separation and danger, the Course says that what else is hell? I love that the Course of Miracles made me aware. He said, look here, Purdy, the voice for the truth speaks to me now more than ever before. And it says, what do you mean you all being afraid you're going to go to hell? Don't you realize you're already in hell? You're in a place where anything can happen to you. You're in a place where it looks like anything can happen to your loved ones. You're in a place that you have fear, and sometimes you have guilt, and sometimes you're afraid. The Course in Miracles says this is hell. And your job is to be a means to transform hell into heaven, which is the same as saying your job is to learn how to change this fearful place in your perception to a loving place in your perception. So I don't know how to break it to you, but you're already in hell. You don't have to worry about going to hell. Are you jealous? Are you insecure? Are you full of worry? Are you full of concern? Do you feel lonely? Do you feel alone? Do you feel sick? That's hell. So the Course in Miracles is teaching us how to get out of hell. In the Course in Miracles says also, it looks like God's design for the salvation of his son opposed by a decision stronger than his will. What in the heck does that mean? It means that there's a plan that the Course in Miracles is giving you from the Creator, and that plan is called the plan of forgiveness. But what is the plan of forgiveness? Well, do you know the Course in Miracles defines forgiveness as corrected perception, true perception. I love using the Course in Miracles definitions and substituting the Course in Miracles definitions for the terms. So I use a lot of substitution, but I'm using the definitions that the Course in Miracles uses. So the Course in Miracles says that God's design for your happiness is being opposed by a decision stronger than God's will, is what your ego is trying to tell you. The wrong voice inside of you, called the ego, is trying to teach you that you are a body. That's what it means when it says his son is dust, the father incomplete, and chaos sits in triumph on God's throne. It looks like we are bodies. It looks like our creator is incomplete. It looks like we're separate from our creator, so our creator doesn't really have us. And it looks like we are willing to listen to chaos rather than to listen to our inner guide, our teacher, the Holy Spirit. Your Course in Miracles teaches that you cannot save yourself. You cannot save yourself. You cannot save yourself. You need help. You need help. You need help to get out of your sickness. You need help to get out of your fear. You need help to get out of your unhappiness. You need to resign as your own teacher. You need to learn how to let, and I need to learn how to let our inner teacher teach us. And the Course in Miracles is just one way for that to happen. I know this is deep, but I want to get deep. I'm here for people who want to go deeper into their spiritual awakening. I'm here for people who want to heal their sense of separation from God. I want to be a means of helping people who their spiritual development is very important to them, and letting go of their anger, guilt, and grievances and old programming is important to them. I am here for those who want to know their innocence, to love themselves, and to let God, the higher power that is only love, be active in their life. I want to let God, spirit, truth take over in my life, and I want to be a means for that taking over in your life. So what does the Course say? Well, let's hear that whole paragraph. He says, such is your planning for your own defense, and you believe that heaven, which is the truth, quails before such mad attacks as you making yourself sick and being unhappy. It looks like, God is made blind by your illusions. You have false ideas that you believe, but it looks like God is made blind by those false ideas. The Course in Miracles says it looks like the truth has turned into lies. So now we believe the lie is that we are eternal spiritual beings, and the truth is that we're physical beings that die one day. So now it looks like the truth, which is that you are an eternal, innocent, sinless being, is the lie. And the lie, which is that you're just a human being that's a body that dies one day, that now seems like it's the truth. So the Course says, and all the universe made slave to laws which your defenses would impose on it. So your defenses, according to the Course, a defense is a plan. Okay? The Course says a defense is a plan. So it looks like whatever plans that a person comes up with, those plans become the laws and the rules that they try to live by. And so we believe that the whole universe is going to operate the way we believe it operates. So the Course in Miracles says a defense is the plans that you come up with to save you, the plans that you come up with to make you happy, the plans that you come up with to make you think you're separate and a body, the plans that you make up to make you forget that you are the holy child of God. Just breathe, don't analyze. Don't breathe, just breathe, don't analyze. Don't analyze. Let yourself hear it. This is some deep stuff. but it's powerful. I have found that if a person will allow themselves to just hear the truth, it will start to give them miracles in their life, healings in their life. I'm telling you, the most important thing you can do with the Course in Miracles in order to get the healings and the love and the happiness that the Course in Miracles promises. Do you know what the secret is? Do you know what the secret is to having every one of your problems healed in your perception? Do you know what the secret is? The secret is read it. Study the Course in Miracles. If it's your path, read the Course in Miracles, study the Course in Miracles until you get to the point that you can remember what it's saying, that you don't forget what it's saying. I found that if a person will just read it and then focus in on it, that they can experience what they would think of as miraculous healings in their life. So what is it that it says in the next sentence? Here we go. Yet who believes in illusions? Who believes in false ideas? Who believes in illusions but the one who made them up? Who believes in their ideas but the one who made the ideas up? You are believing in the ideas that you have accepted or have made up. Who believes false ideas? Do you know the Course in Miracles defines an illusion as a false idea? An illusion is a false idea. When the Course in Miracles uses the term illusions, it means false ideas, false ideas, false ideas. So, who believes in false ideas but the one who made them up? Who believes in fear but the one who made the fear up? Who believes in anger but the one who made the anger up? Who believes in jealousy but the one who made the jealousy up? Who believes in illusions but the one who made them up? So whatever you believe, you might see it, but the people around you might not necessarily see it because you made it up. So when you're dealing with the thoughts and feelings and emotions that you made up, then you're the only one that sees those thoughts and feelings and emotions. And so you literally have to tell somebody what you're feeling and what you're going through, because you are just looking at the thoughts, the feelings and beliefs that you're telling yourself. The thoughts, feelings, and emotions that you're telling yourself based on your past experiences. And so when you are full of fear, you know that the truth is you can only be feeling fear that you made up. You're only feeling fear that you made up. So who believes in illusions but the one who made the illusions up? Who else can see the illusions? Who else can see the false idea? Who else can see the fear? Who else can see the fear? Who else can see the illusion? Who else can react to the illusion as if they were the truth? So what does that say? It simply says all the ideas that you have in your mind that you have made up, you believe in it because you made it up, but you're the only one who can see the beliefs that you made up. You have to tell me what you're thinking in most cases for me to know it, because you are only seeing your own thoughts. You are only seeing your own thoughts. You are only feeling your own thoughts. So whatever sickness, whatever unhappiness that you are experiencing, that sickness and unhappiness is coming from your mind. It's coming from your thoughts. And that's why you can be healed. That's why you are not trapped. That's why there's another way to see things. So what is the problem? Well, the Course says, well, I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is that you identify with your own thoughts. And so you believe you are whatever you're telling yourself. Whatever that mind talk is that you're telling yourself right now, that is your ego. And that is who you think you are. This is what the Course is saying. But what is the good news? Let me tell you what the good news is. Because we're only talking about love and fear. That's the only thing the Course in Miracles is ever talking about, is love and fear. So then the next line goes, God knows not of your plans to change God's will. What does that mean? That means that the universe remains unheeding of the laws by which you thought to govern it. There are laws of love that are in place, that are operating regardless of what you believe. You can believe that you are not valuable. It doesn't change the fact that you are valuable. You may not believe that you are totally innocent, but that doesn't change the fact that you are totally innocent. You may not believe that you are free, but that doesn't change the fact that you are free. May not believe that you are loved and lovable, but that doesn't mean that that's not the fact. The fact is you are loved. The fact is you are loving. The fact is you are not alone. The fact is you have a teacher, you have a divine teacher, you have a divine guide. So the universe is not paying any attention to the beliefs that you have about yourself that are based on any kind of fear or insecurity or lack. You may believe that you can never have the kind of relationship that would make you happy, but just because you believe that false idea, that illusion that you're making up about your love life, doesn't mean that that's the truth. But you're going to react to it like it's the truth because you're the one that's making that negative thought up. You're the one that's telling yourself that things can never work out for you. But the universe is unheeding of the laws by which you thought to govern it. Heaven, which is love, has not bowed to hell, which is fear. So love has not bowed to fear. Truth has not bowed to illusion. Life has not bowed to death. Do you know that you might believe that death is something that's real? As a matter of fact, you may believe that death is more real than eternal life. You may believe death is more real than not dying. But that doesn't mean that it's true. I'll say this again because the Course reemphasizes over and over and over and over and over again. Just because you believe something isn't true doesn't make it untrue. The Course says you all are not the ones who determine what is true. And just because you all think something is true doesn't necessarily mean it is true. So what does that mean? Well, in the very next line it says, you can but choose. Notice that it says choose. You can but choose to think you die. Okay, so you can choose to believe you die. He said you can choose to suffer sickness. So yeah, you can believe you are a body and then believe that you are the pain and suffering that you go through in the body. You can distort the truth in any way. So what does that mean? You can distort the truth any way you want to. You can believe that the truth isn't true and you can distort the truth. But guess what? What God created, what the truth created, is apart from all of your false beliefs. It's apart and separate from all of this insanity that we see surrounding us. The only thing that you're seeing in the physical world is a reflection of the belief that we are separate, that we are guilty, that we are angry, that we have grievances. The Course in Miracles says a mind that has grievances, a mind that thinks it's separate from its creator, is going to be a mind that creates sickness and suffering for itself. So the sickness and suffering that you might be going through in any area of your life is coming from your own plan. It's your plan to prove to yourself that you're not the beautiful, holy, powerful, loving being that God says you are. What are you saying? I'm saying that you are absolutely loved, lovable. You are absolutely invulnerable. You are absolutely unlimited. But there's a part of you that believes that's a bunch of crap. And it tries to prove to you that the thought that you are powerful and all-powerful is a thought that's not true by making you sick or unhappy or feeling like you have some kind of a lack. It's a trick. It's a trick. So what are defenses? A defense is a plan to defeat God. It's a plan to defeat love. It's a plan to defeat the truth. So really, what is unalterable cannot change. So what is unalterable? What's unalterable is this. Do you want to know what can never change? This is what can never change. What can never change, according to A Course in Miracles, what can never change is the fact that you were created as God created you. that you are still the way that you were created by God. You were created by God as an extension of God, as an extension of love, as an extension of truth. You were created as a spiritual being. You can't change that. You are the creator of your experience, whether you believe it or not. You can't change that. You are living and experiencing the results of your own thoughts, your own beliefs. There's nothing you can do to change that. You can't change the laws of the universe. You can't change the laws of love. You can't change the laws of God. And you were created in love. I don't care if you believe it or not. You were still created in love. Even if you think you are alone and on your own and all by yourself, that's your illusion. That's the lie you're telling yourself. But that doesn't mean that you don't have help. And it doesn't mean that you don't have support. It doesn't mean that you don't have God to help you, just because you may not either believe in a higher power or you may not even believe you deserve the help of a higher power. But that doesn't change anything. The higher power is still going to help you. The higher power is still going to guide you. The higher power is still going to continue to be open to helping you whenever you are ready to be happy more than you are insisting on being right. So what is it you need to ask yourself? You need to ask yourself, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? If you want to be happy, then you need to make the decision that you hope that you're wrong, that you hope you're wrong about anything that you're telling yourself that makes you feel bad, that makes you feel afraid. Hope that you're wrong about your love life, if that's the area that you seem to have sickness in. Hope you're wrong about what you're telling yourself about your body, if your body has a physical illness right now. When you're unhappy, when you're angry, when you're afraid, don't want to be right, hope that you are wrong. Because when you hope that you are wrong, then that means you're open to another way of looking at it. You are sinless. The Course in Miracles says, what is unalterable cannot change, and what is totally sinless cannot sin. So you are totally sinless. You are totally sinless. You are totally sinless. Now, do you necessarily believe that? Well, you might not believe it, but you are. Do you make mistakes? Do you make mistakes? Have you done some things that you feel shame about? Have you done some things that you wish that you have not done? Well, if you have, the fact that you regret it means that you've already gone to another level of consciousness. If you've done something in the past that you think has been painful to you or somebody else, the mere fact that you are willing to listen to this and study A Course in Miracles and learn another way to look at it, which is what forgiveness means, another way to look at it, then that means you are already on another level of consciousness. And what you really are, who you really are, is without sin. That means who you really are is, what you really are is wholly innocent. What you really are is not guilty. It makes mistakes. You can make a mistake. You can make a mistake. You can make a mistake. But if you make a mistake, attacking someone is a mistake. Being dishonest is a mistake. Being out of integrity is a mistake. It's a mistake. But what you really are is totally sinless and cannot sin. Such is the simple truth. Notice that it says, such is the simple truth. Wow, that is deep. That is deep. Take a breath, you all. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your comments. And the reason why I do this live, because I could just pre-record it. I don't have to do it live. So why am I doing it live? Because that means all of us are online together at the same time. It means that we are joining in real time. And just knowing that we are joining in real time from all over the world infuses all of us with power. And I appreciate that you take the time to meet at a specific time, even though the replay is always available. And if you notice, I am just driving these points home. So the Course in Miracles says, such is the simple truth. Then it tells you what? It says, now the truth does not make appeal to might nor triumph, so God is not going to overrule you or overcome your beliefs. And here's the next sentence says, the truth does not command obedience. And that's the same as saying God does not demand obedience. Love does not command obedience. So something and someone who loves you would never command obedience. Your Creator is not commanding you to do this. Your Creator is not commanding you to do anything, nor seek to prove how pitiful and futile your attempts to plan defenses that would alter the truth. So the God is never going to try to prove to you that your plan is not going to work. Spirit is never going to command that you do what it tells you to do. Spirit is never going to demand and command that you follow the instructions of the Course in Miracles or any spiritual practice. The truth merely wants to give you happiness. So what is it that the truth wants to give you? What is it that God wants to give you? God wants to give you happiness. For that's the purpose of the truth. Why are you studying this? Why are you focusing in on the Course in Miracles? Why are you focusing in on the truth? Because you want to be happy. You are doing this because you want to be happy. You're doing this because you don't want to be afraid anymore. You're doing this because you don't want to experience sickness or pain or attack anymore. Why are you studying this? Because you really want total fulfillment. You really want peace that really lasts. So that's why you're doing this. And the truth just wants to give you happiness. And truth is another name for God. That's the purpose of this. That's the purpose of the truth. Perhaps God shies a little. Do you know the Course says, perhaps it sighs a little when you throw away its gifts. Perhaps God goes, trying to give you peace and joy and happiness and get you out of all the pain and suffering that you're going through. I'm telling you how to do it. I'm telling you that the way that you do it is to realize that your sickness and your unhappiness right now is a plan that you set into motion to prove to yourself that the happiness that I want you to have and the love that you deserve is not something you deserve. I'm telling you that you're not a body that dies one day. You're trying to convince yourself that that's not the truth by creating some type of pain and suffering and maybe dying one day. So the Course in Miracles says basically sickness or unhappiness is just a plan that you've made to make yourself think that you are not unlimited. It says perhaps the truth sighs a little when you throw away its gifts, and yet it knows with perfect certainty that what God wills for you must be received. Do you hear what that? Did you just hear what the Course in Miracles just said? It said, I'll say it again. What God wills for you must be received. What your Creator wants you to receive, you are going to receive it. And your Creator wants you to receive perfect happiness, perfect healing, perfect joy. And there is nothing that's going to stop that from happening. You can come up with any type of beliefs or plans or conditioning or programming that tells you that you are never going to be happy or you're never going to have what you want. That's the lie. That's a trick. That's something that you're telling yourself that is not true. And it doesn't matter whether you believe it's true or not, because God wills that you have perfect happiness. And whatever the Creator wills, that's what's going to happen. But it's got to get, but it's not going to, your Creator is not going to force you to do any of this. The universe will never demand and command that you follow these instructions. Okay? It does not defend against your beliefs. So the truth is, you can believe what you want to believe as long as you want to believe it. You can believe what's making you feel unhappy as long as you want to believe it. But even if you do, you still are going to be receiving the guidance, the love, and the support of God, your higher power. And the sickness that you're going through right now is a trick to make you think that you are not spirit and to make you think you're a body. So your sickness, whatever it is, that sickness is a call for help. Sickness is a call for God. Sickness is a call for God. The correct perception of sickness is, I feel sick, that's me calling for God. I feel unhappy, that's me calling for God. I feel angry right now, that's me calling for love. I feel concerned right now, that's me calling for the help of God. Sickness, seen correctly, is a request for healing. So to hear this again is to remember that your plan, and it's your plan is any plan, any state that you're in that's not a state of happiness and peace, that's you acting out your plan. That means you are not following God's plan. Do you know how you can know you're not following God's plan? Because there's no way that you are following the truth and what's really the truth. There's no way that you're applying and following the truth and you could be unhappy in any way. There's no way you could be unhappy and afraid and actually be following God's will and God's plan. And it's just that simple. So that means that if you are full of fear, anger, separation, guilt, sickness, then it means that you're following your plan. You're following the plan of your ego, the part of you that's been programmed by the world. That's what you're listening to. You're listening to your voice and not the voice of God in any area that you're feeling any kind of unhappiness in your life. But God's will for you must be received. So that means that what should you do then? You should, first of all, master this particular workbook lesson. That you should have your Course in Miracles book, and the workbook is included in the Course in Miracles book. And the next time that you are sick, that you're going through pain, that you're going through lack, jealousy, loneliness, then you would tell yourself, that's a sickness. This is a defense against the truth. This is a plan that I've come up with to convince myself that I can't be happy. So I'm going to put my focus on this workbook lesson because I need to remember what this lesson is telling me about where my unhappiness and my sickness is really coming from. This lesson is telling me where unhappiness and sickness is really coming from. So I need to remember what it's telling me, and I need to do what it's telling me to do. And that's what we're going over. That's what we've gone over. And bottom line is, what is the bottom line? The bottom line is what God wants for you, you're going to receive it. And God wants health for you, perfect happiness for you, and perfect love for you. And it must be received. So I'm going to do a quick recap. I'm a full-time teacher. If you want to make a financial expression of appreciation, I certainly would appreciate that very much. Just go to my website, www.earlpurdy.com. You can also use Venmo, the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. My email address is all you need, and my email address is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. That's Purdy, Earl Purdy. I'm available for one-on-one sessions. I'm available for one-on-one sessions called clarity sessions. And if you would like to have a clarity session with me or like to find out more about it, go to my website, www.earlpurdy.com, and you will get more details, and you can self-book a session with me right from my website. On Sundays at on Sundays at 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, I do another Facebook Live Course in Miracles presentation. Sundays, 1 p.m. Mountain Time. If you like to attend in person, if you're in the Denver, Colorado area, because it's in Denver, I'm at 1555 Race Street. 1555 Race Street in Denver, Colorado, 1 p.m. on Sundays, Mountain Time. You can attend in person or you can watch online on the Earl Purdy page. And I also, on Facebook, the Earl Purdy page on Facebook, and I upload all my classes to YouTube. So you can also find me and locate me, Earl Purdy, on YouTube, and you can look at hundreds of classes that I've posted on YouTube. On Thursdays, 7 o'clock Mountain Time, I do Hardcore Course in Miracles, which is what this is right now. And that's on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook. And please share this video. Share this video. And I'm available for also astrological and numerological readings. Also, from a very powerful higher consciousness place. The Course in Miracles teaches that the Holy Spirit can use whatever your talents are and whatever your gifts are to wake you up and to wake others up. So here is a quick 1-minute thought that I want you to remember. Do you know that sickness and suffering makes you think that you are your body? Do you know that you suffer pain because the body suffers pain? And what is the purpose of the pain? The purpose of your pain is to convince you that you're separate from love, that you're separate from happiness, that you can never be happy, that you can never have complete peace. That's what the suffering is for. The suffering is there to try to convince you that the truth that you're learning cannot be true. And that is not going to work, because the universe is not paying any attention to your beliefs if your beliefs are based in fear or lack. The universe is not supporting any of your beliefs in sickness or lack or loneliness. The universe does not believe the false ideas. God does not believe the false ideas that you have about yourself. And somebody that loves you, someone who loves you, they see you beyond the false ideas and the fears and the illusions that you have made up. Why is it that nobody else knows what you're going through until you tell them? Why is it that nobody else knows what seems to not know what you're thinking until you tell them? Because you're telling yourself stuff that you're making up in your own mind. That's why nobody else knows it until you tell them, because it's not true. But can you believe it's true? Yes, you can believe it's true. But the universe is not going to be ruled by the things that you believe about yourself that's not true. So that sickness or pain or suffering that you're going through right now, tell yourself, sickness is a defense against the truth. Sickness is a defense against the truth. Sickness is a defense against the truth. You will accept the truth of what you are. So tell yourself this: I will accept the truth of what I am. I will accept the truth of what I am. I will accept the truth of what I am. I will accept the truth of what I am, and let my mind be wholly healed today. This is the prayer. This is the prayer that the Course in Miracles says that you should say to yourself if you want to experience a healing in your perception. This is what you need to remember and memorize, and tell yourself when you are experiencing any kind of suffering in any way. Say to yourself, sickness is a defense against the truth. I will accept the truth of what I am. I will accept the truth of what I am. Sickness is a defense against the truth. You will accept the truth of what you are. You will accept the truth of what you are. You are spirit. You are spirit. You are sinless. You are sinless. You are guiltless. You are loved. You are free. You are free. You are free. You are abundant. You are entitled to miracles. You are spirit, not a body. You are spirit, not a body. You have the divine with you. You are connected to the divine. Sickness is a defense against the truth. You will accept the truth of what you are, and let your mind be wholly healed today. Say, I let my mind be wholly healed today. I let my mind be wholly healed today. The Course in Miracles says, if you will learn this prayer, use this prayer whenever you have any kind of sickness or unhappiness, when you make this your first reaction, you will see miracles of healing. Sickness is a defense against the truth. I will accept the truth of what I am, and let my mind be wholly healed today. This prayer is in lesson 136, sickness is a defense against the truth. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. I'm going to say it one more minute, and then I'm going to complete this session. Sickness is a defense against the truth. You could say, lack is a defense against the truth. You could say anger is a defense against the truth. Any form of non-right-mindedness, any kind of lack of peace, the Course in Miracles defines as a sickness. And I'm going to continue until we go through this whole section, this whole lesson, because it's a very important lesson. I appreciate you all so much. 7 p.m. Mountain Time on the Earl Purdy page, Hardcore Course in Miracles on Facebook. And it's also available for replay. Please share the video. This is some deep stuff. So listen to it at least 4 times. It's about repetition, 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 not analyzation, not analyzation, repetition. So the next time you're feeling any kind of pain, any kind of suffering, any kind of upset, any kind of lack, say, this is just a plan. This is just a defense against the truth. This is just me trying to prove to myself that this isn't true, and all the old ways of thinking and programming that's negative that I have, that's what the truth is. So remind yourself that your negative thoughts, your anger, your sickness, your worry, your upset is just a defense against the truth. And then you tell yourself, I will accept the truth of what I am. And the truth of what you are is you are innocent. You are sinless. You are spirit. You are free. You are an extension and a child of God. So let your mind be wholly healed today. Mighty companion, may the Course be with you. I love you. I appreciate 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 you. And if you want to know about any workshops or classes that I'm going to do that are going to be much more personal and private, then send me your email address so I can put you on the list for my advanced mind training courses from A Course in Miracles. Love you. You are not alone. Let your mind be totally healed today. Don't say, Earl, but what do I do? That's all that I've been doing for the last hour from A Course in Miracles. It's telling you exactly what the Course in Miracles says you need to do. So don't dare say, what is it that I need to do? You need to give this some attention and study and remember what you just heard. And then say that prayer consistently. Then you'll see some miracles. Love you so much.